Welcome back to the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's the coach, Philip Roybal. And if you love college football, you are definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. You know, folks, I don't know if you guys saw my video on Darian Holmes again. I want to make clear real quick before I move on to this next deal. And this is just a quick statement. If you haven't seen the Darian Holmes video, in fact, let me jump in there and put it in there in the chat. But
he's definitely a player.
He is a player. And
there's
folks,
more to the story though, guys.
Let me just explain something to you. There is no, and the only reason I'm saying this is that I've gotten some people that have insinuated that there's a problem with him. And it's an easy place to go because it looks like he's
people that really know though, Jason. Or
yes, yeah. I know exactly what happened. Just to say that you can take a look at this guy. It's a short video. It's just a highlight video, more or less. But this is the season that Darian had. He was just an all-star the same day that they had the All-American Bowl. Later the night they had the San Antonio All-Star game. He had a couple of amazing catches in that as well. The dude is a Division I player. He just is under the radar because as a junior, he didn't get to play. There was some issues with the past coach. Something had happened with a lawsuit over a kid. There was a coach that apparently got fired from Warren for injuring a kid.
I got you.
Okay. And I don't know exactly the whole story about that, so I didn't want to. He injured a kid, and so, they fired him. They bring in his coach from this season, and he is behind that kid that got hurt though. His brother. He ended up stuck behind him somehow. Okay. Now, because of a lawsuit and the firing and all that, you can understand how whether or not he was better than Darian or not, and I don't know who this kid is. I have no idea. He didn't get to play as a junior only because of that. It had nothing to do with anything else. He had a dominant season on JV, not that it's the same, but he dominated there too. And if you watch this video, you will see 6'3", 200 pounds of bad dude, right? He has a 3.7 GPA. He's never been in trouble a day in his life. His parents they've been married for 20 years. They're a very tight-knit family. This is a good kid. So this insinuation that there's got to be something wrong with him, there's got to be an issue, blah, 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 blah. Maybe people are overlooking him for that reason. I don't know what the reason is. I know that he didn't get to play, and so he doesn't have a ton of film. Now, he did get he's been getting some offers lately to smaller schools, but he's got an offer to a JUCO and down at Navarro that could be a very good deal for him. He gets another chance, right? Yeah. He'll get another chance. So I could actually share this and I'll just turn it down.
Put up huge Darian Holmes.
I'll let you hear this
also
part.
Can't figure out why this young man doesn't have big Division I offers. He's got great size. Put up huge numbers at Warren High School. And he's pretty fast for a guy his size as well.
Yeah, here's those numbers he was talking about. 81 catches, 1,275 yards, 19 total touchdowns, 81 catches. And he's 6'3". And if you're watching this, obviously, I'll let you guys talk about it. But, this is a kid that is going to help out whoever he goes to. They just won the lottery because he just wasn't very well known because of the fact that he didn't play as a junior. He didn't go to a ton of camps. He went, and not everybody understands the recruiting process and not to mention, obviously, the recruiting process continues to change as well. Now that catch right there was ridiculous. The guys look at him; he's all over him, and he just grabs it anyway. But he does this every time he plays, every time. And so He runs through people. I mean, this is a player. Coach, tell me what you think when you see this kid. I mean, you've coached guys for a long time in Texas. Where does this kid rank with you?
Well, I tell you what, and I've watched some of the film already earlier, and he plays well. Again, that's why I can't, and I've been asking you the question because I can't believe he's not been offered by a D1 school.
Right.
And so there's got to be something that's being put out there, true or untrue. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not true. I can tell you, if
that's
there's
what I'm
anything
saying.
out there, if there is anything out there, it's absolutely false.
Right.
And he's
And
had a
I
bunch
think-
of offers at smaller schools. I mean, they're not gonna, even at
Right.
JUCOs. I know they're supposedly for trouble kids and blah blah blah. Listen, I mean,
Well, he's I mean, you look at him. He's a great looking kid. He makes plays.
yeah.
There's no reason that he shouldn't be offered at a D1 school.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to me. But again, if he does go to Navarro, he's going to get that second shot to go somewhere and get that D1 scholarship that he.
The good
deserves.
news is he had a 3.7 also, so he wouldn't even have to stay 2 years necessarily at a JUCO.
No, he'll go in, play a year, and can be out of there because of his GPA. But no, you just
look at this catch here.
Look at this play. Look at this play. Wow. I mean, he's incredible. But
yeah.
I don't know if somebody has put some bad information out there. But what's interesting to me is it's got to be widespread because it's not like they just hit one school with that.
Well, I was reading earlier about a 3-star that they're hoping they get that is all of a sudden getting attention from Texas and stuff, and I'm like, okay, so if you're ranking a kid and you start thinking about a 5-star receiver, what does it take to be a 5-star receiver? Generally speaking, you got to be over 6 foot to over 6'2" even. Speed is a thing of it, but hands. He has all of these things. He's 6'3". He's pushing 200 pounds at this point. He's not Anthony Evans fast, but if you look at this right here, this play right here will tell you that speed is not a problem for Darian Holmes. Now, first, I mean, I'll slow it down right here. Look at all these tackles that he misses.
Exactly.
Now he is gone. And you don't even see anybody else in the frame.
Well, nobody's even gaining on him.
No.
So
whether he runs a 4.5 or a 4.4 or a 4.8, I don't know what he does on the track, and I know he's running track right now. I don't know what he runs. I know he's run a 4.5. He can run a 4.5, but I don't care what his 40 time is.
He looks like a 4.5 kid to me.
Yeah. Right. And then, I mean, this is his, big grab. But the next thing that you'll see is that the San Antonio game. 6'3", 2. Yeah, you're exactly right, Sean. Thank you. And sign the dude. I mean, I got to tell you, you don't see guys like just what you just said. These guys, they don't just. We were talking about those big, nasty 6'5", 350-pound D linemen. They don't grow on trees either. Those are the ones that God doesn't make as many of, right?
Right.
And it's just one of them deals. Well, I hope so. I hope somebody does. And Malcolm should be paying attention. I don't understand why Sark hasn't been all over this kid. And I don't want him to go to, I'm not saying I want the kid to go to Texas, first and foremost, folks. But I would tell you that I've been putting this content out. I've been putting his content out. I've been putting some other players. He's not even the only one. And I'm going to do a video it'll be out tomorrow talking about some of these guys that are still under the radar. I hope that everything, if he does end up taking the Navarro offer, and maybe listen, let me ask you this as a coach, would you, with the fact that he only got the 1 year as a varsity player, starting or anything like that, would you hope that maybe you see that JUCO could help him with development and continuing to get better and not having. If you go to a Division I, especially a big one, you may have to sit.
Right.
So
No,
it could behoove him.
Jason, this could be a blessing for him. I mean, at the end of the day, this could be a blessing in disguise because he will, you're going to see some great athletes down at the JUCO level, and this could just make him a better D1 player. And like you
Well, when
said,
talking to his dad, he said that when they were there, that there was monster after monster that walked in that door.
Yeah.
No,
they
were.
Yeah, they've got some great athletes that come in there, and obviously, a lot of schools place those kids at those junior colleges, so you're gonna get some big time players.
Well, and here's the thing. Yeah, I agree, and because a lot of those guys, they do have grade issues or some kind of issue that they have to get through. Here's the deal. That is not, and that's the only reason I brought this up. This has nothing to do with Darian. It has nothing to do with his family. It has nothing to do with his grades. This has, if it has anything to do with anything, it's something that happened at the school that he had nothing to do with at all. He just happened to be behind the kid's brother. So, and if that is what it is, I don't even know for sure that that's what it was either.
Right.
He could have just been, I don't think he was a late bloomer either. But again, I'm not going to sit here. I didn't coach him, and I don't know what was going on a year ago with that. I do know this. I trust his dad. I went to school with his dad. I played football with his dad. He played at Eastern. Great receiver himself. The kid comes by naturally, but this dude, and their family is very strict. They're together all the time. I mean, and extended family, this is a tight knit group. So this is not the kind of kid that it's a problem kid. I just want to make sure. I don't know how that I'd made that clear enough, and I kept getting it in comments, and like one guy, I ended up blocking him because he just kept arguing with me about it, saying there's got to be. Well, all right, dude, I'm not going to do this with you, Sure. But I just wanted to.
And I can tell you, Jason, I can see where that comes from because
I understand. No, and I'm not saying I don't understand it. What I'm telling you is when I literally tell you what happened,
yeah,
buy into it. And because knowing the family, I'm not going to just stand up for anybody and say that because I don't know everybody, but I know this.
I'd like to know this. I'd like to find out what that story is. I really would. Golly. That's just incredible to me. Heck, there's a kid from Tennessee that plays. There's a kid from Tennessee that a quarterback that they were top 10 in the nation last year. He went 32-1 as a starter, or 31-1 or something stupid like that. Won 2 state championships in 6A in Tennessee. They were top 10 in the country, not this past season, but the year before that. And he doesn't have real offers for Division I. And some of the kids, but it's a lot of it, I think, has to do with that. He's a quarterback in an offense that doesn't throw the ball very much. Right.
And so, but I mean, he can throw it. He can damn sure throw it. And he's a big kid. Actually, Oklahoma had allowed it. He came in on an unofficial to OU for Bedlam. So, and they liked him. So, look, there's a lot of guys out there that are flying. Brandon Harper, the other kid from Oklahoma. He led the nation. Now he's a PWO at OU. What I would tell you on a PWO, there was some talk about maybe him getting a PWO to UTSA. They haven't even given it or offered it to him yet. So but I don't. And we talked about that. I would, if you're going to get a PWO to UT or OU, fine. But you don't do it at UTSA. They're in your backyard. No. What's wrong with Jeff Traylor? What are you doing, bro? Come on.
Well, all I can say right now is go Bulldogs.
Navarro Bulldogs. Yeah, listen, he hasn't taken the offer yet. I think it's a great offer. I like this coach. They've done really well. It's a solid JUCO program down there. There's a lot of them, but there are a lot of talented players, and they do. Some of them just fall through the cracks, and that's the whole deal. They fall through the cracks. Hey, listen, Tulane with their coaching, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
Nope.
Yeah, great grades, everything. Listen, 3.7 GPA. Again, no trouble ever out of this kid. Somebody is going to get a diamond, period. They just win the lotto. And so I'd love it if it was Oklahoma. I know you talked about before that you would love it if Notre Dame got him. And
Absolutely.
I can't, and he literally is good enough to play anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
There's no, so I think he goes to this place, and he could end up at a place like Alabama, for God's sakes. And here he was right in your state, and nobody saw him, or nobody, made sure to go grab him. This JUCO coach, smart guy. They offered him immediately.
At this stage in the game, that's probably his best bet.
Mm-hmm. The JUCO, I think so. Unless somebody, they hadn't seen him or didn't know, and they're like, hey, we got a spot for you to play today, right now, plus a full scholarship, whatever, you know. But he's got the biggest scholarship you could get is offered to him from Navarro. Yeah. So, and it looks like a good option. He does have some other offers at Division II. One of them was Hardin Simmons, and yeah. I mean, look, I get it. It was probably a great trip, but if you really want to play Division I ball and he's a Division I kid, you got to do this. This is the move. Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll go ahead and get back into that other stuff, but thanks guys for watching that. And again, take a look at that, share that with people, man. If this is just because nobody does know, then, I mean, we can help them know, so